you ready, Uncle Ernie? Let's go.
We come along on Saturday morning, greeting everybody with a smile. Here, here.
Oh.
Well, actually,
No.
Actually, that's not what we're good at, is it?
Definitely not.
Singeing. I'm not too hot on singeing, but welcome everybody. Good evening, fight fans. A warm welcome from Mark and Col for yet another Beatleplaces with Fred and Ginger. Any road up, here we are, here it is, and there's lots in this one. Did you notice, Mark?
Yes.
I peeked earlier.
It's all. Did you?
Yeah. And I was looking. I
was.
was looking at the stuff as well.
Yeah.
So, in the words of George Formby, let's be having you.
Who? Right. Off we go then.
Lots of features tonight. So, hello, Mark.
Hello, Col, and welcome to
Really
the best sort of podcast you can ever listen to
about Beatles.
About the Beatles.
About the Beatles.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's called Beatleplaces with Mark and Col.
Aye.
So we can't get that bit wrong because it's got us in it. So memorable.
Never mind, eh?
Okay.
Nobody else turned up, so
we'll say that at the end as well.
Right.
Plenty in this one.
Right. What are we doing first? Then?
Well, remember the feature we're doing for the next couple of weeks. Well into the new year, we're going to do something called Beatles with an A, and we've been covering the alphabet of Beatles, and that means we talk about, chunner about, witter on about things Beatles and Beatles like that will get you going. And we're covering letters each time we do a podcast, and this time the letter is F for Frigidaire, F for Fred, F for Fiddlesticks,
and lots of other words.
And lots of other words which I'm not going to get tripped up by saying. So,
yes.
Evening all. So here we are, Beatles with an A, letter F. Lots of things to do with letter F, people, places. And of course, we're very keen on talking about where the Beatles are from, Liverpool. And that we'll bring in a few features about that. But welcoming Mark into the show.
Thank you.
Do you want to kick off, kid?
What should I say first? How about we do a little thing, just to sweeten things up first. Tiny little quiz.
Well, how
The odd
about
question in
blimey,
between.
the quiz. How about a theme tune?
Oh, right.
So the whole thing begins with a theme tune.
Hang on, get me trumpet out.
That was no bloody trumpet.
It's the closest I had, I'm
Oh,
afraid.
so well, it explains you're playing it that way round.
Never
yeah.
mind.
Anyway, carry on. You had a little quiz, kid.
Right. Aha, hi, hoo, ha, hi, do indeed. Right. This three little questions. What track follows what I'm going to say now?
Oh, you did this last time round.
Aye.
Oh, it was a stinker, wasn't it? Very good quiz.
Right.
Very novel. So this is, now tell me again, the last track before the one you mentioned.
I think so, yes.
yeah.
What track follows the one I'm going to mention?
yeah.
Okay.
Crack
This
on.
is from the album With the Beatles, so there's a bit of a clue. What track follows All My Loving?
And there's no clues.
There's no clues, no.
Is it All I've Got to Do?
It isn't, no.
Is it Eleanor Rigby?
No.
No, that's Revolver. Is it...
Are you sure now?
Is it a George Harrison song?
I don't think so, no.
So all my loving.
I don't think so, George Harrison.
It's not. Well, it's not a medley, is it? Not a medley. Kansas City.
No, it is Don't Bother Me.
That's a George song.
I was just going to say that, yes.
Yeah, famously written when he was sick.
Aye.
He was pestered by, I think it was Bill Harry, one of his old chums who wrote Merseybeat magazine. And he said, come Ed, have a go at writing some songs. John and Paul do. He said, oh. And it famously went along those lines. He said, I'll have a go. And he had a go, and he's bloody good. So it got better, to be fair. Don't Bother Me's an okay song.
He wrote it in bed in a Bournemouth hotel.
In Bournemouth, yeah.
Bournemouth.
Well remembered, Col.
Aye. George sings a double-track solo vocal. Paul plays claves. John tambourine. And Ringo a loose-skinned Arabian bongo.
Oh, well, that's why you brought one last time.
That's what it was.
Yeah, you brought one last time.
You recognise that,
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah, now it's all coming to me. But George rated that song as not very good. I kind of heard it before. does me. Good instrumental in it, good break in it, guitar break. But,
Yep.
to be judged by your own merits, folks.
So that's that
you
one.
listen to it, you decide yourself.
So that was a track, All My Loving,
Yeah.
is followed by Don't Bother Me.
Right.
And number 2 in this fantastic quiz, from the album Hard Day's Night.
Okay.
What follows, I Should Have Known Better.
Can I have a clue? Because I seem to need to warm up tonight.
Right. How about...
Who wrote it?
I'm just sorting that out. Hold tight.
Look, hold me tight, is it by any chance?
Well, put it this way. If I went across the road without looking right, left and centre and this, there's a bit of a clue what I should have done if I got hit by a car or something like that. What should I have done? And
Run for your life?
No, not quite. Being a bit daft in a way, like, oh, you doing something like that.
You can't do that.
No, nearly.
You shouldn't do that.
I should have known
I
better.
should have known better. Actually, I was playing that on a guitar before. It didn't come to me, but
It was written by John, who double-tracked on lead vocals and also plays the mouth organ. And also the Naturals, a 5-piece band from Harlow, gave them their only chart entry.
Oh, I see,
When
right.
they did a copy of it.
They did a copy, a version of it.
Yeah, it was released in July 1964 and entered the top 30 at number 27 and was in the top 30 for 3 weeks, rising to number 26 in its 3rd week.
Those things, the thing that stunned me was, as a kid growing up with Beatles records, was when you had the single in your hand and there was the tune that was the hit single, All My Loving, Help, something like that, and you'd flip over the record and you go, what's this one? And it'd be whatever. It was great.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a substandard version of a song that would do. It was a blooming good one,
Yeah, because they wanted to put something different on a single on the B-side rather than just a track
really
off an album.
They improved on how B-songs, B-sides were.
Aye.
Lo and behold, good. Yeah.
And a finale, question number 3 in this little ditty bit.
Oh, it's a hard quiz.
This is from the album Sgt. Pepper's Lonely
Oh,
Hearts
this gets
Club
easier.
Band.
Okay, a bit more.
So I
memorable.
think you should know a bit more about this one. What follows... Dead easy, this one. What follows the track With a Little Help from My Friends?
Is it Lucy?
It is.
Yeah, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. Yeah.
Correctamundo.
And very good, but of course, let's demystify this song. It wasn't written about drugs. It was written about Julian's attempt at a painting of Lucy O'Donnell, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was
Schoolmate.
it. John asked him what it was supposed to be, and Julian answered, "It's Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds." So even though the initials of the song match the drug LSD, not connected at all.
And pounds, shillings, and pence in its time.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's what we used to call money. But the backgrounds of lots of Beatles songs could have come from anywhere.
Yeah.
I put a thing on Instagram the other day, on my little Instagram page for Beatleplaces, and it was all about the fact that a school lad from Quarry Bank had written to John when he was rich and famous.
Yeah.
And he said, I've been reading all the old grammar school magazines that you wrote in as a grammar school kid yourself. And you wrote a silly poem called Hermit Fred.
Yep.
The Tale of Hermit Fred, and which I put up on the Instagram account. And people had written in thinking it had inner meanings and stuff. And people have been doing it ever since with your songs. He said, I'll show them. And he wrote back to this lad, a fellow called Stephen Bailey, was the school kid, and he got through because he used Quarry Bank note paper to get noticed by John, you see.
Yeah.
And he picked up on this, wrote back to Stephen Bailey, who became a famous journalist, and he said, it means nothing what I say, it's just a case of it rhymes, it works, it's honest, it's funny, it's
whatever
silly.
comes into his head and sounds good.
It's instant, and it works in that moment on the song. And he said, I'll show him. And then supposedly, I Am the Walrus came round the corner. So there's maybe that's the truth of the story. But I know Stephen Bailey did the letter and everything else. So interesting, but who knew?
Aye. So,
good questions, Mark. Thanks for
it was,
stumping
Lucy in the
me.
Sky with Diamonds
So that
follows
was that
with a
one
little
out
help
of
from
three?
My Friends. John sings the lead with Paul and George joining in for the chorus. Paul plays a Hammond organ using a special organ stop which produces a bell-like overchord resembling the sound of a celeste.
Oh,
There you go.
There's a lovely BBC documentary produced by the guy who did the music for Blackadder and things like that.
Ah, right, yes.
Howard Goodall, and he's delved into the musicology of the Beatles stuff, just their music, just their song, but especially Sgt. Pepper's album, and he really does a good job at it. I can't put into words how good that documentary was. You'll have to kind of catch it online somewhere. Howard Goodall, Sgt. Pepper.
And you know who also sang Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds?
Famously, Elton John.
Correct. With a certain Dr. Winston O'Boogie playing the guitar and singing the backing vocals.
Yeah. It wasn't a bad version because it was different and interesting. Lot more bits to it.
Actually, that Dr. Winston O'Boogie is a pseudonym for John Lennon, of course.
Yeah.
But with he's called himself lots of other names as well. John has all pseudonyms and things. Dr. Winston O'Gherkin, the Honourable John St. John Johnston, Reverend Thumbs Gherkin, Captain Candellini, Reverend Fred Gherkin, Dr. Dream, Dr. Winston O'Reggae, and Dwarf McDougall.
Oh, really? I didn't know the last one.
All right.
The gherkins seem to get a fair mention.
He likes gherkins, by the
he
sound
must
of
like
it,
his
doesn't
gherkins, I thinks to myself.
Anyway, that's that section out the way.
So,
Rip that up and burn it and chuck it in the bin.
I tell you what we should do. Let's have a jingle.
Oh, I'll go and get my trombone.
No. Just stand still for a minute.
All right then.
Hold your breath.
Giving unemployed, good-looking, tall, handsome, well-groomed voiceover artists a bit of part-time work. It's the Beatleplaces podcast with Mark and Col.
Is that all right?
Yeah, it's fine. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Next. See,
Open the window.
told you you could do it. Anyway, welcome, folks. Beatleplaces with
Me and him.
Arthur and Dave, and here we are doing another show, Letter F, under the Beatles with an A sort of subtitle, and we're featuring things to do with Fs.
Aye.
And Beatles, and I think it's my turn now, isn't it?
Go on, you.
I thought let's be fairly upfront about stuff. We're talking about the people Beatles, the Beatles knew, and I thought let's sort of shoehorn this in under the title of Friends of the Beatles, Friends of the Beatles.
Oh.
That's got an F in it. And let's talk about one fellow in particular, Arthur Kelly. Ring a bell, Mark? Arthur Kelly.
It does, yes. But I can't think why.
Well, he was a good old mate of George Harrison's. Really, George's brother Peter kind of led the way, but he kind of usurped his brother, and Arthur became his bezie. They met about 12 years of age. Arthur was a keen musician. There's a couple of pictures of Arthur Kelly, when he was learning the guitar, wanting to be in music somehow or others, and George kind of led with him. They both kind of learned the guitar together. They went to see a fella to learn the guitar in a place called the Botanic Hotel. Do you remember that place up in Wavertree?
I do, yes.
It's the Botanic Hotel. I went looking for it online the other night. It's not there no more. The corner of the street's still there, but you can't point to a corner of a street and go, something happened there. But George got his lessons from a guy in there, and his nickname was The Cat. The Cat. Oh. I've done my best. I couldn't find the guy. Found the hotel, found the owner, but couldn't find the cat.
Maybe he was dead cool and he is a cat man, you know.
Yeah, it could have been.
The lingo from back then.
It could have been a real cat.
Cool as a cat.
Yeah, but this was a guy who kind of introduced Arthur and George to guitar music, learnt a few things, bar chords, strumming and stuff like that. The basics.
Aye.
The basics. And now you progress as you do to the electric mandolin. And here we are. But Arthur was George's good old mate, and they were both members of one of George's earliest bands, the Rebels. I've done a little summary of the Rebels, who was in it. And George had written on a piece of paper once upon a time the names of all the band members, and it mentions Arthur, it mentions George, it mentions Peter, his older brother, and another fellow called Robert. And I pinned down Robert. I found this other Robert, but it's all in the Beatleplaces book, which explains who the other guy was. He came from school. Arthur himself, you may not know, maybe never guess, but he had a kind of time working for the Cunard line, because most people around Liverpool ways in that time of times was connected with the sea in some way. My family were, and they went to sea. They were in the sea. They did something to do with the sea, and or they went swimming a lot. I don't know, but they were in the Mersey at some point in time. But Arthur went away from that and he became an actor, which meant he was acting. He was on TV, of all things. Lots of TV shows that you and I would know. Heartbeat, A Touch of Frost. When there was a time he had a haircut. Let me get this story right, otherwise they get quite rude. Yeah, he named his haircut Arthur because of Arthur Kelly. So that was a time when George was getting noticed with his strange hair, the effing turban, as it was called once upon a time. But it looked like a Brillo pad, according to Arthur.
That's what in the Hard Day's Night, the film, wasn't it? That's what he called his haircut then.
Arthur, yeah. So
one of the journalists asked him, "What do you call that haircut?" Arthur.
Based on Arthur Kelly. George got to keep in touch with him when he and Arthur were both in London. He was acting, George was playing, and he was asked to play bass in the band at some point when the Beatles were forming, and Stu Sutcliffe replaced him instead. What they may have both worked at, at Blackler's department store around 1959-ish. It's not quite understood. But John, Paul, George, Ringo and Bert, the Willie Russell play, had a narrator in it, the Bert bit, and he was Arthur Kelly. Now, you've seen that, I think.
I have twice.
Barbara Dixon was in the show as well, singing Beatles songs. And Arthur Kelly, George's mate, did the narration. There was Arthur Kelly's remembered being at the Innie, the institute when George went to, and that George was always getting stopped because he had these crazy shoes on. Of course, they were non-standard shoes, but George's answer, being George, was, "They are not school shoes," the teacher said, and at which George said, "Well, what the F are school shoes?" But that was the way he was, and that's the way he answered lots of teachers. Arthur's nickname with George was Archibald, which I like. And plenty of letters went back and forth between Arthur and George about his Hamburg days when George was there and Arthur was just working in the shipping companies. But what George had said in his letters to Arthur, just revealing kind of his plans for the future about 1960-ish, was the Beatles, the Hamburg Beatles, as they were going to branch out and play in Berlin at some point, but it never kind of came to happen. So that's quite a shame. It would have been an interesting thing. But Arthur Kelly, he had a brother-in-law, famously, which I've done research on. And this is how Arthur became very popular with George, because Arthur's brother-in-law was an American fella who was called Red. He was a ship guy, merchant shipman, and he married Arthur's sister. And Arthur's sister, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, and Red, they went to live in America, which is strange that when George had the chance to go to America, and he went with his brother in the end to see his sister in Benton, in Illinois, he didn't go and bother to see Arthur's sister, which is an odd one, because he could have. He had the time. He wasn't very famous in America. He kind of went that way. But, lo and behold, the other interesting final fact about our Arthur was he lived two roads up from where John was born, in Newcastle Road, in Wavertree, which was right by Penny Lane. John was brought up as a baby until he was a toddler in a place called Newcastle Road, and up the road from there was a street called Bristol Road, and Arthur lived at 19 Bristol Road, if anyone wants to go and have a look. So Arthur, a friend of George, F his friend, Beatleplaces. Thank you. My name is Trevor McDonald. Good night.
And here's a jingle. You're listening to Mark and Col doing Beatleplaces, all about the Beatles. Jingle time.
It's Beatleplaces podcast with Mark and Col, radio's answer to naked attraction.
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
Right. What I'm going to say now
Welcome
is
back.
another F.
Oh, right.
Number 36, Faulkner Street.
Oh, yeah.
Aye, John and Cynthia's honeymoon flat. The Beatles manager, of course Brian Epstein, rented but hardly ever used the ground floor flat of this house. When Cynthia and John got married in August 1962, Brian let them honeymoon at the flat until they found a place of their own. How long they were there, I'm not too sure, but eventually John and Cyn moved back to Mendips, his Aunt Mimi's house in Menlove Avenue. Whilst living here, John had written Do You Want to Know a Secret?, sung by George on the Please Please Me album. It was also the song which had propelled another Epstein's Merseybeat groups, Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, to the top of the charts. John recalled the time he wrote the song. I was in the apartment, the first apartment I'd ever had, that wasn't shared by 14 other students, gals and guys at art school. I'd just married Cyn, and Brian Epstein gave us his secret little apartments that he kept in Liverpool for his secret sexual liaisons, separate from his home life. And he let Cyn and I have that apartment. So you can visit it as well, up Hope Street. And
yeah, it's just off Hope Street.
Off Hope Street.
all the Beatley bits are all in kind of a close place, aren't they, up that way?
There's the Crack Pub on High Street.
Liverpool Institute,
Yep.
Liverpool Art College.
All within 5 minutes walking distance of each other, really. Not far away at all.
Oh, there were plenty of students who lived in all the accommodation around thereabouts, but when you get to Faulkner Street and where Brian Epstein's house was, let's say it's a flat, it's more houses, more places people lived in. And famously, a few doors down from there was a nude model lady. And I can't remember her name.
Life model.
Life model, that's the nice word for it. And she worked at the Liverpool College of Art, and I think her name was Jane Fairlow. Jane Furrow Fairlow. I'm sure it's Jane Fairlow. And she's been interviewed a few times since, but she knew John and she knew Stu Sutcliffe because being our college guys, and she'd posed for them, done naked stuff. That's the famous one where John drew a picture of a wristwatch rather than the rest of her. And Stu Sutcliffe, of course, he did lots of nude stuff, but they got to know this June Fairlough quite well because she lived local and she was a very nice lady. But up that way, just tons of Beatles things. So that's the sad bit about being a Beatles tourist. You see 4 or 5 places when in one spot alone there could be 50. So just check it out. Do the research. You might save yourself a lot of time. Good answer there, Mark.
Aye.
In Brian Epstein's little flat, by the way, that's where John and Paul signed the business contract with Brian Epstein.
Aye.
To say that they're going to run a music publishing company based on their songs. Not them as a band, but them as musician composers.
Yeah.
So that's when they created Northern Songs. So that's when they agreed to it. They signed the papers up there. So another interesting Beatle place with an F in it.
F for Faulkner Street. That's it.
Would you like a quiz,
Yes,
or I'll give you an
please.
option, or would you like something else?
I'll have a chocolate biscuit
No,
and a quiz.
I'm sorry, we're all out of chocolate biscuit. You know the rules.
Guess the quiz then, go on.
Okay. Okay, that's a little highbrow for you.
How dare you?
All right, we talked about...
You think I am thick?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
It says so on that piece of paper, that sticker on it.
Okay.
Beatle covers. Beatle covers. Now, we mentioned one, which I should have known better before. Just a bit of help. 5 questions. Who did cover versions of these famous Beatles songs?
Righto.
Number 1, A Hard Day's Night.
Well, various people have done that, including Peter Sellers.
Is right.
It's been a hard day's night. And he did it as the famous actor Laurence Olivier, doing his Richard III impression.
And
Very good,
It was very good. You kind of we've heard versions of it that aren't kind of permissible on podcasts, but you'd enjoy it when you get a chance.
Well, a hard day's night's okay. It's She Loves You is the slightly
Sorry,
risque
I
one
stand corrected.
in his various accents. But Peter Sellers, yes, he covered
And you're right. Ding.
A Hard Day's Night. Thank you.
Question 2. Who covered With a Little Help from My Friends? Famously, really.
Yes. I can hear it in my head, but I can't think who did it now.
He used to be a gas fitter in Sheffield.
Oh, did he know?
He did.
No, it's gone.
If I
I
said,
know all my gas fitters, but I can't think of that one.
surely you've got an A to Z of gas fitters somewhere in your handbag there. Joe Cocker.
That was
Joe
it, yes.
Cocker. He didn't
Yes.
have a band. He kind of just a solo performer.
sang
And
like
he sang like he was in a wind with his arms out.
Like he's having a fit.
All right.
Anyway.
I'll try and remember this. So who sang as a cover version, Got to Get You Into My Life? That's a bit more of an up-to-date
Now then, it is. Yes.
They didn't stick their hands out. That was a band I'm talking about, so there's a clue there. There's a band who sang
Yes.
it.
And I can't remember. You've got me again there.
Earth, Wind and Fire.
Ah, yes.
Or as Lenny Henry used to say, break wind and fire.
I've probably seen them do that as well. Cause
Well, you'd be
seen
like,
Earth, Wind and Fire.
that's why Joe Cocker's got his arms in the air, because he's... Ahoy!
I might
All right.
have seen them do that. I don't know.
Now, you may not get this next one. It's a little more further on.
A bit more taxing. That
bit
was bad enough.
bit
Thank
more
you very
taxing.
much.
Good phrasing. Dear Prudence.
Dear Prudence.
So 68's White Album.
Yes.
Dear Prudence got covered, but got covered a while later by a famous band. Famously.
I would say.
In a famous way.
In a famous way.
I'll give you one word. I'll give you one word clue.
Go on then.
Punk.
Yes. I know it was a while ago. Go on, Sex Pistols then.
I don't think so, but it was
I
Susie
don't
and the
know.
Banshees. Musically, they did a fair old job on it, but you know they did well. The thing was, it was never a single, so to produce it as a single was a pretty adventurous thing to do. It did a good job of it. So, Dear Prudence, Susie and the Banshees. That's 5 cover versions you may or may not have known of before.
Well, blow me down.
Joe Cocker said that.
Did he?
Yeah, with his arms in the air like
Yes.
that. Welcome everyone, Beatleplaces with Mark and Julius here, and it's rolling along. We're doing Beatles with an A. It's the letter F for
For any all sorts
fig
of
rolls.
Fig rolls.
Fig roll
And you haven't got
edition.
any of them on.
No, I'm sorry, we're all
Can
out.
I be very vague on this F thing now?
What's new?
How about PH?
I'll let that go
Yeah.
because it's phonetically understood. Yeah,
Is that, spell that with a PH?
that's a PH.
Yes, very good, very good.
Oh,
Well,
yes,
yeah.
it drops.
How about the Philharmonic Pub? This is the best example of Victorian pub exuberance in a city full of fine pubs. If you go to
That's
Hope
got an F
Street,
in it.
Yep. Go to Hope Street, go in the Philharmonic Pub because the Beatles use it as an alternative to the Crack, which is a bit further along Hope Street. So John bemoaned the fact that the price of fame was not being able to go to the Phil for a drink. The Phil is perhaps unique in allowing ladies to go into the gentlemen's toilets because they have a beautiful marbled gents urinal you can go and have a look at.
It's exquisite to look
Very
at.
nice.
It's like grade 2 listed or something. I
The
think.
only thing is, though, it stinks in there.
Well, it's a toilet.
It does. Last time I went in there, yes, it's a bit of a whiff.
Well, I left as soon as I could.
But there you go. And there's also another PH
Well,
as well on Hope Street.
while we're talking about one of the greatest pubs on earth,
Go on, then.
we enjoy the Phil, don't we? Because if there was ever one of the best gigs I think I've ever seen, it was the Bootleg Beatles, conveniently enough. And I think, didn't we grab a tea? We had our tea across the road in the Phil.
We did indeed.
And we went up the stairs,
Up the stairs to the
and
Philharmonic.
it's waitress service upstairs.
And
you
you
don't
have
have
a
to.
lovely pie.
Oh,
up
we had a
there.
pie. Did we have a pie?
Yep.
And PH pie. Oh, it was gorgeous. Great night. What a good gig it was as well. Everything was great that night.
Yeah.
And especially the Phil.
Yeah.
Because it's the ale. There's something about the ale in that place. Don't forget, overall, Paul's played the Phil. He did a secret gig, didn't he? Kind of not. He behind a curtain. He turned up and did a wee mini gig, a couple of songs and off. In his, I think James Corden was looking after him that particular weekend, And it was one of them. So, the Phil, marvellous place. Sorry, Mark, I interrupted you. Please continue.
That's the Philharmonic Pub, and across the road, across the crossroads, there is the Philharmonic Hall. And most Liverpool kids have been there, probably the Beatles all been there when they were at school as well, to see one concert at least. But from the late 50s, it became a popular venue for pop groups, but the Beatles didn't appear there. One of the major early influences was Buddy Holly and the Crickets, who played there in 1958. And funnily enough, the copyright to Holly's music is now owned by Paul McCartney. And also, the by now famous George was here again in 1963 as a panellist judging the final of the Lancashire and Cheshire Beat Group competition. So also on the jury was Dick Rowe, remembered as the man who turned down the Beatles.
Did, yeah.
He must have been sick that night. But George had been impressed by a new R&B group he'd seen in London and suggested that Rowe should sign them up. The band was the Rolling Stones. So I think they did pretty well from that.
Well, I think Dick Rowe didn't really do any hard work there. He got given that on a plate, didn't he?
So, yeah.
Well, we ought to add famously is the Beatles never saw Buddy Holly playing at the Liverpool Philharmonic.
No.
Famously. No one can understand why, because a lot of mates saw the Colin Manley, who was in the Remo 4, and a few other people who were in Merseybeat type bands later on.
Yep.
They said, yeah, we went, no problem. You know, tickets might have been like £8 or something. But none of the Beatles have attended.
No.
Strange, but true.
They've been there on film and stuff like that, because the 1968 film Yellow Submarine, digitally enhanced and with a remixed soundtrack, was given its UK premiere on September 1999. And on the 2nd of July 2001, Yoko Ono walked on stage to be made a Doctor of Laws by the University of Liverpool there, in recognition of her work as a conceptual artist and for the John Lennon Memorial Scholarship, which he helped establish in 1991 to assist the higher education of needy students. Receiving her honorary degree, she remarked, "You have no idea what this means to me, for this is not any city, this is Liverpool. It is my husband John's birthplace and the place that he never stopped talking about all his life." So that was the Philharmonic
Pretty
Hall
poignant stuff there.
on Hope Street.
Yeah, there is. If you have a wander around Liverpool and you go up a ways, up a hill even, there is the John Lennon College thing, which I don't quite kind of know the official title. You know, the one with the John Lennon's sort of icon, the sort of image of him that you see on the airport. There's one of them where up towards the university a bit. And can I remember the name of it? I can't remember the name of it. Never been that close to it, to be honest. It's near where he was born, in Oxford Street.
We'll have to go one day.
Yeah.
Only around the corner.
Yeah. Good stuff. Cheers, bud.
That's my F's for the moment.
Well, you can...
Or PHs.
You can just put your feet in that bowl of water again and just relax for a bit. I'll take over for a minute or two.
Right.
Because it's time for a wee jingle, a wee reminder as who we are.
Put
and
the
then
kettle on.
We'll have a wee, and then we'll be back.
Right. See you in a minute.
Oh!
You want the best. You expect the best. You deserve the best. So while you're waiting, here's the Beatleplaces podcast with Mark and Col.
Told you, that was less than a minute, but we won't go into detail.
I was desperate.
Yeah, okay. Well, look, there's a mop outside. Back with the friends, I'm afraid. And it's letter F, Beatleplaces with Mark and me. And here we are talking about the letter F, references to the Beatles and the people he knew, the places they went, the records they performed, and other random miscellanea, which might be of interest to you for free. And that's got an F in it as well. You can either have, Mark, a choice of friends. You can have the friend of Ringo or the friend of Paul.
Oh, shall I? Is it for me to pick?
Yeah, you pick.
Friend of Ringo, then.
Okay. Did we know any of Ringo's mates? Well, there's a few out there. They were all sort of childhood based because he was brought up in the Dingle. He was at schools in the Dingle, which is kind of the beginnings of South Liverpool. Once you get past Upper Parliament Street, you're in Dingle Vale. And Ringo was there with lots of schoolmates who he knocked around with, as the local phrase goes. And he was either, hunting rabbits, or he was down by the seashore, or he was doing something just to kill time in Dingle. There wasn't very much to do. And when he grew up a little bit, he was into his music, and he had mates who were into their music as well. But one mate he kept for the longest time was a workmate, because Ringo ultimately had to do some work. He had some casual jobs. One was on a boat, very brief job as a bar sort of man. And then the next job he had was working for British Rail at Lime Street. That wasn't a winner either. But he eventually ended up working for an engineering company not too far from where he was brought up, two or three streets away, called Hunt and Co. And Hunts and Co. Were engineers, proper engineers. They dealt with steel and metal and wood and stuff. And what they made were gymnasium equipment. And the gym I went to as a little kid, the YMCA I used to play in, all that equipment was made by Hunts and Co. because the sign was on there. I remember it very well. But Ringo was in there making all this stuff as an apprentice fitter. And he formed a skiffle band with a couple of lads, and one of them included a apprentice joiner called Roy Trafford. Roy never rated himself as a musician, but he joined in on a skiffle group because of a lunchtime. The lads in the engineering firm, Hunt and Co., they just went downstairs, had the lunch, and played around with skiffle music, broom handles and banjos, whatever they could play. But Roy was a mate for the longest time because they socialised together, they drank together, they went out together, they learned to dance together, not to each other but to women, and but they did lessons up in the neighbourhood round Prince's Park actually. But when Roy was in the band called the Eddie Clayton and Skiffle Group, he played the tea-chest bass, which is a tea-chest with a broom handle sticking out and a piece of string. Wasn't very sophisticated, but there they were. They started off that way. They were both music lovers of a type, but Roy's life carried on because he just became, from an apprentice, he became fully indentured, as they say, fully fledged. Trade served. What's the word I'm looking for? Yeah.
Apprenticeship.
Yeah, finished his apprenticeship in 1965, when Ringo was doing very well indeed elsewhere. So Roy's life just went as follows. He married a lady called Margaret, and he went to live up in Crosby, which is North Liverpool, kind of nice Liverpool, compared to some places anyway. But for the longest time, he lived in the Dingle, round the corner from Ringo's house, in a place called Forthlin Street. Famously, Ringo and him were trying to impress ladies and go out and stuff. At 16 years of age, they went to a place called Skellin School of Dancing, which is round by Sefton Park. And what they didn't know was there was too many men went to the dancing lessons, so they had to dance with men. And Ringo famously said, "I think I had to dance with a policeman at one point," which never mind. But they both did things like go out and go around the pubs in town. They went to Beaconsfield. I think we've been in the Beaconsfield once or twice, around the corner from the Cavern. And they bought their suits from a fella called Albert Jaff, which was, I think he was based in London Road way. It says here that they lost their virginity together. Not in the way I'm saying, but with ladies. And famously, they had one bit of musical connection was they both noticed a very famous 50s singer called Johnny Ray, who'd performed probably at Empire Theatre. And they followed him. They realised he was staying at the Adelphi Hotel. So they like fans would. They'd follow you. And Johnny Ray just leant out of his window and threw photographs out to the crowd. And that's what Ringo and Roy famously did together. But also, he followed Ringo around locally when he was playing in a band because his drum kit was so bulky and awkward. He was also toting around his girlfriend, which was Jerry McGovern. And Ringo said, "Could you look after my girlfriend while I'm playing the drums? Otherwise somebody will chat her up." And so that was Roy's other job as well. So there's Roy Trafford, an old mate of Ringo's, who he talked about up until just a couple of years ago. So I think he's still around. and he hasn't done anything naughty, like pass away or anything like that.
Ah.
So Roy Trafford was his mate. You don't hear much of him, but there he is.
Well, there you go. You're listening to the Beatleplaces podcast with Mark and Col.
It's the letter F, everybody.
Broadcasting to you on a lovely August evening. With the curtains
With the
closed,
curtains shut.
and it's gone dark, and
I got my jumper on.
and there's all the beer's gone now. So, oh well.
I shall refresh your glass, sir.
How about another little quiz?
It's about time too.
What track comes before?
That.
That we had before. What track follows? Now we've got one. What comes before?
Okay.
It's a bit harder, this one. Because when one song ends, you think, oh, it naturally follows with another one in your head. But can you think of the one before? Very difficult.
This is blooming tough, this, yeah.
This is from an album called Abbey Road.
Aye.
What comes before the track Something?
I think it's come together.
It is. It's the very first track on the album. Aye.
Good sequencing on that album. You know, the way they plonk the various songs. They kind of light and dark as tracks go.
Yeah.
I kind of like the way it is. And Sun King, I particularly like his... it's an odd old song because it's a bit rambling, but apparently gibberish.
Yeah.
Apparently gibberish, but yeah, thanks, Mark.
Yeah, well, there we go. So that was that one.
One.
Something comes after Come Together. Now, from the White Album,
Oh, yeah, okay.
Savoy Truffle. What comes before Savoy Truffle?
Strangely, straight away I said to myself, Rocky Raccoon.
No.
But it'll
no,
be birthday.
No.
Before Savoy Truffle. Oh,
Looking at my notes now,
no,
you're cheating there.
No, I don't. I can't read upside down, or Flemish.
I can't write upside down. Either.
Well, the tune Savoy Truffles, and it won't be long. That's on another album.
It's written by Paul, this song, who sings solo.
Oh, darling.
With John on electric guitar and George on bass. 15 session musicians supply the brass backing.
Back in the USSR.
Mainly of saxophones.
Back in the USSR.
No. If I go... No, that's nothing like it. Anyway.
No, yeah, well, that's just an interruption as far as I'm concerned.
It was, yes. Very sorry about that. What has pastry on top? We're talking about them a couple of minutes ago we had at the Philharmonic.
Pies!
Pie.
Honey
pie.
Well, you don't get a honey pie, do you? I mean, you can ask for one, but...
Honey pie!
But girls and people can be honey pies.
Yep. So 15 session musicians supplied the brass backing, mainly as saxophones, scored by George Martin.
Yes, yeah.
Recorded on, started recording on the 1st of October, 19... where are we?
Yeah, it's kind of that was an era of the Isha demos and everything else where they kind of tried a lot of stuff, and strangely not guilty.
1968.
Not guilty. Other songs like that they kind of didn't make the cut for the album, which really surprises me because they were all right. They were good.
Yeah.
Okay, so got any more?
I have
one more.
Final album, Yellow Submarine. Okay. What track comes before All Together Now? Paul sang...
well, I think it's the title track.
All Together Now. No, not quite.
Won't be Bulldog.
No, it's... you mentioned this...
it's all too
thing.
much.
You mentioned this association earlier on.
Did I now?
You did. Well, John and Paul...
it's only a Northern song.
Yes, it's only a Northern song.
George song, yeah.
Yeah, written by George, and the last song written for the film. 2 o'clock one morning at EMI Studios with the London Symphony Orchestra waiting to go home, producer Al Brodax insisted that the Yellow Submarine film was one song short. George told Brodax to sit tight while he knocked out another tune. And after an hour or two...
I thought I'll have to edit this.
returned to the studio with the final song. Here, Al, said George. It's only a Northern song. George sings solo vocal with brass backing and organ. His vocal is double-tracked in places. There are various percussion instruments, bells, etc.
You're quite
and
right.
all bits and pieces in the background. So all together now is preceded by Only a Northern Song from the album Yellow Submarine, released in 1969.
I seem to remember, when we both worked in Little Hospital Radio many times ago.
Many years ago.
They had that album in the record collection, and I used to pinch it for take it home and listen to it a bit, because nobody else was playing that album, because they didn't kind of like it so much. But I was always playing It's Only a Northern Song a lot, because I just kind of liked it being such an off-key song with lots of changes in it.
Yeah.
And being a George song, you didn't know what to expect, so strange but true, very good.
There we go. So that's my little quiz, 2 quizzes.
Oh, yeah, well...
Before and after, and I've got another tiny one before we go as well.
So,
what's up now, Col?
Well, you got a choice here, because we've covered a few things I've listed. We've talked about 36 Faulkner Street, 20 Forthlin Road.
Oh, aye.
Yeah, where Paul lived. That's got an F, large and looming in front of it.
Right at the
A few
beginning.
facts about that, because where Paul lived, he was there from about 1955 till when he had to leave, about 1963-4. Because he did a midnight flit from the house, and he moved to a house in a place called Heswell in Wirral. When he was super famous by then. But he moved in as a teenage lad of 13 into Forthlin Road. And shortly after his mother passed away, so there was a whole household at the time. What I famously found out from a little bit of research was, around that area in that time, the whole of the estate of South Liverpool was housing estates, and they were just being built. It was like the pioneers had gone out to the south of Liverpool and cleared all the bombed houses away in the slums and built nice little houses.
Fields it was mainly around there as well.
Yeah,
Fields.
and if you go a little bit further up towards Hale, there are fields. It looks how it did. And the neighbourhood was just beginning to bloom. And the estate was... like I said, building sites and a bit of everything. But as little kids, when Paul lived not so far away, him and his brother fell into a pit, which was just a trench, and it was full of cement lime. And being kids, little kids, they were rescued by a neighbour. And I'd looked up and found out who this person was. So there's a little bit of a story to that. But they weren't badly off. They just had this fall. And... being kids, you just fall into trouble. The mum and dad found out about it and were basically had a heart attack, Forthlin Road, though, is what they call an SB5.
Is it?
SB5.
Well, I was going to say that. But
well, yeah, it just rolls off the tongue.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
A standard build 5, that's what it stands for, because the council had a design for a house, and they were all the same sort of shape and make. And quite a clever house, because as we've been in the house, haven't we?
We have.
And what you notice is it's designed cleverly in that if you go out of a room, if you keep going, I think it's right, you end up back in the room you left, because the rooms all connect up by keep on going right.
Yeah,
that makes sense when you're there anyway. But since we were there, they've opened up the... Paul's mum and dad's bedroom. The National Trust have made it sort of respectfully right, and they've prepared it as though the mum and dad had a bedroom all sort of together. The bed linen's exactly right, and the crockery's right, and the mirror's there, as we know our bedrooms used to be as kids.
Yep.
That's a nice thing. I think we ought to basically
have to go again.
Do a redo and catch up on what's new there. So Forthlin Road's an interesting place because it's a mixture road. In the road are these standard houses that Paul lived in. There's a row of about 15 or 20 of them. And then you take a left and there's a great big block of flats, which don't look right.
And then you go a bit further along the road and all the houses are different then again.
Yeah, and
they change.
And as we know, there's a police training college up the road
There
a bit.
is.
Yeah, on Mather Lane.
They train the horses and
But not far from there is where Paul lost his virginity. And I can't reveal the address or the person, but I did find out both once upon a time. Interesting bit of information now. And Forthlin Road, of course, was just an ordinary little road, but the trouble is when you go now, there's always somebody photographing themselves on it and so on. So it's a really good place to buy a very expensive car and leave it because everyone's looking at the car. And great burglar proofing around there because everyone's there all the time. No pinch anything. But what was said was there was a BBC documentary about them sort of doing up Forthlin Road. The National Trust got involved, and they were pretty sure that Paul or Mike, his brother, had written jokes and lyrics and drawings in the toilets, which is a very small little space.
Yeah, behind the wallpaper.
Yeah, and they spent weeks peeling away with like scalpels to see what they could see, and they didn't find anything.
Didn't find anything. No, nothing there.
Yeah, but I would have said that to them so they could redecorate my house.
Yeah.
I'm sure John Lennon did a painting there once. And Forthlin Road is, of course, one of them roads where it's off a main road called Mather Lane. And when the Beatles came... Mather Avenue, sorry. And when they flew in for the Hard Day's Night Northern premiere, 1964-ish, July time, the bus their limo went past Forthlin Road, and there were people outside waving, going, well, that's where he used to come from. Now he's gone on to better things. Interesting place, Forthlin Road.
There we go.
And it's a Beatle place as well.
It is.
2 for the price of 1.
Hey.
It's the Beatleplaces podcast with Mark and Col. We haven't planned the show, so nothing can go wrong.
Well, that was a nice jingle, Col.
I thought, I could have done with a little bit more EQ and a bit more bagpipe.
Yeah, I didn't hear that bit.
Did you not?
No.
Oh, let me go back.
No, don't bother. Next.
F songs.
Yes.
F songs. Now, there's a handful.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
But there's not a lot either. And not many to go with that. I'll give you a few of them, and you help me with the rest if you can think of what they are.
Off you go.
There's a very much newer one, which really shouldn't make this list, but it's on the list.
Right.
There's Fixing a Hole.
Aye.
And Flying.
Yes.
There is For No One.
Yeah, my favourite. I like that one.
And there is For You Blue.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Now, famously, I took my very first flight on a plane to America. And this was on like the entertainment channel, and it was on every 8 minutes or something like that. So I got to know it pretty well. Oh, it's a Beatles song. Oh, what a novelty! And after a while, I went, oh, it's on again.
Back again.
Oh, it's on again. There is From Me to You.
Aye.
And that's kind of it on the real Beatles
There's not a lot of
albums.
them, is there?
But there's one that came up late, and you'll say, yeah, I suppose it is a Beatles song. Free as a Bird.
Ah, yes.
Free as a Bird. Which, when they made a video of it, you remember the video?
I do.
We've covered this before, but
Yep.
if you catch the video yourself, the guy who directed it made sure there was tons of Beatle clues in there, so I can't remember, 60 or 70?
Oh, don't know.
There's an elephant in it.
Every time I watch it, I see something different.
Yeah, and you can say more than there really was written in.
Yeah.
Because you could spot stuff, newspaper taxi made out of newspapers.
And they're selling poppies.
Yeah, the car crash from like A Day in the Life.
Yeah.
It's not a bad video as it goes. I mean, they could make it super special now with AI or whatever else. But I'm noticing now on YouTube, there are AI versions that the Beatles sing, they say, of like Nirvana songs. I'm going, oh, please. Beg your pardon. What a waste of time and money that is.
Yes.
So AI and Beatles stuff, I kind of walk away from. It's not what I want. It's not what we deserve anyway.
It's not real.
Yeah. Anything over there?
Nothing is real. What's that? I've heard that before somewhere.
How about Beatle people? Can you think of any H's with Beatle people?
H's?
F's.
H. Where are we? You're getting ahead of yourself now.
Oh, you're not in 2 weeks from now? Right. I'll just wind back the time machine.
F.
How about Mia Farrow?
Oh, yes, Mia Farrow.
What's the connection
well,
there?
Paul was engaged to Mia Farrow. No, he wasn't. What am I talking about?
I suppose in their time.
Getting mixed up.
Yeah, but he went to India.
Yes,
and
she was the...
Mia Farrow's sister was there.
Yeah.
And her name was, we've talked about her already tonight.
Have we?
Prudence.
Oh, Prudence, yes.
Prudence was there, and the song came out of that. Yeah. Mia Farrow's connection is her sister went and met the Beatles in Rishikesh. 68, There you go, 68, late 68. Another F would be a fella called Horst Fascher.
Oh, yes.
Does that kind of give you a clue already?
I would say something in Germany.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is part of the Star Club? Or?
Sehr gut,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was Hamburg style, Hamburg time,
Aye.
60 to 62. He was Star Club and all that kind of caper, managing the clubs. He was kind of a bit of a tough guy to be with, but he was fair with the band. You know, he made sure they were protected when they wandered the streets and avoided all the bad lads. But yeah, there's lots of stories with Horst Fascher. And his story's kind of, it's in there somewhere. I've written about it somewhere, but can't find it in front of me. What about random stuff? F's that are random. And I picked films.
Oh, go on then.
How about Shades of a Personality? Have you heard of that one?
I have not.
As a Beatles film?
No.
Well, it was a planned film.
Ah, right.
Round about the time when Joe Orton was keen on writing a script for the Beatles, which took them a little bit out of Beyond Help and a bit more sophisticated and hip and trendy.
Yeah.
But Shades of a Personality was about somebody with 4 personalities, funnily enough. And that was a project that never took off. Then, of course, famously, the rights to Lord of the Rings were bought and never used, because Lord of the Rings lent itself quite well to the Beatles, being 4 characters who were there, Frodo and all them. And again, the project never took off, and somebody else bought the rights later on. And there was even a 3 Musketeers version planned, but 3 with Fab 4. It was kind of, well, the 3 Musketeers were 4 Musketeers, weren't they?
There were 4, but
Alexander Dumas and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting, that one. And of course, what films we don't know about are the private films the Beatles made. Paul was always very keen on home movies that he would edit.
They all did lots of pictures of each other. And,
It seems so,
everybody
yeah. I mean,
sort of went mad filming each other there.
yeah, we just haven't really dipped our toe in the water with the amount of private Beatle footage there is out there, which I'm sure will get drip-fed to us as time goes on, and we kind of want something new again, and we want something more. And I was only mentioning this to Mark tonight, and it was all about, there's now a Wings documentary that's come out. I think it's called One Hand Clapping.
Yep.
Out now, kind of, in cinemas and stuff, you know. Don't know much more about it. It could have been the prep for the tour that they did, but I don't know anymore. But that's a Wings thing, which is brand spanking new, folks.
Yep.
From 1973.
Aye.
So there's some F's, there's some things, there's some songs, there's your Beatleplaces. Would you like another little wee quiz, and then you can hit me with one, and then we shall
close the door, yeah.
Call it a day.
Right. Off you go.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
All right. When I was a boy. Now that rings a bell for you, doesn't it, Jeff Lynne fan?
Yes.
Yeah. When I Was a Boy is the name of the round. John Stuff. You might know it. Probably we may not.
We'll see how we get on.
Okay. Maybe I'll yeah, I'll hit everybody with. I'll hit you with 5 of these questions, and I'll rattle through the remaining 5. Who was John's best friend as a boy?
Oh, Pete Shotton.
He was, yes. As much of a miscreant as John ever was at grammar school. Just a silly lad who just fooled around, messed around, got really bad grades, got kicked out. Ended up being a police cadet. Ended up jibbing that and running a cafe.
Wow.
Ended up jibbing that and running a supermarket. Jibbed that. And then he ran a chain of, let's say, hamburger restaurants, I suppose, in their time, called Fatty Arbuckles. Made $1 million. Went to live in Ireland. Came back and joined the Quarrymen in his late 60s, 70s, and he sadly passed on. Which Nigel was in John's Woolton gang? No, which Nigel?
Nigel.
Now, his dad was a copper. Nigel somebody.
I do not know.
A fella called Nigel Wally. Yeah, Wally. People get his name wrong. It hasn't got an H in it. It's Wally, as in wall. Wally. Named John's 2 half-sisters who lived with his mum, Julia. There's a clue there. Julia.
Yes.
Julia. John.
Yes.
Julia. Just.
I can't. Yes. No, go on.
Well, there was Jackie.
Yeah.
And there was Julia. Yeah. So that's what they were, yeah. And they're still around. That's all I can tell you. One's kind of more in the spotlight than the other.
Yeah.
And she's the director of Cavern City Walks, Cavern City Tours, lots of things. She's involved in lots of Beatle pies, let's put it that way. There was a group of people who were in John's art college era, and they formed a group, not a band group, but he formed a group, and they hung around in a pub called Ye Crack as well.
Aye.
And famously, there's a plaque on the wall. If you go on the inside, there's kind of a seat where you can sit where they used to sit.
Yeah.
So they were called the Dissenters, as in, down with this and down with that, dissent. Can you name any of them?
No.
So I did all that.
Well, blimey.
All that.
I'm afraid not.
Well, now you ask. Rod Murray was one, art guy. Bill Harry, the newspaper tycoon.
Yes.
And bassist Stu Sutcliffe. Dissenters. The other questions in this little round were, name the Reverend at St. Peter's Church where John went in Woolton. Famously, there was a guy called Morris Price Jones. Hyphenated name.
Welsh.
Morris Price Jones. Who didn't like John, but there you go. But John was in the choir, and I've got the guy who ran the choir's name, which I'll talk about another time. Which road in Woolton did girlfriend Barbara Baker live? So if you wander around Woolton, it's all kind of parallel streets, and all his mates lived in one street, Vale Road, and John lived in Menlove Avenue, the main road. Vale Road's just behind it, and the road behind that is where Barbara Baker used to live, and she lived in a road called Ridgetor Road. Ridgetor Road. And lots of roads in Woolton strangely have that TOR bit at the end. TOR this, TOR that. Which common friend did John and Paul both have?
Ooh, when they were young.
Yeah, I'll give you a bit of background. He became a university lecturer, and he died of Parkinson's disease.
I'm afraid I do not know that either. You've got me again.
A guy I'd like to look into a little bit more. He's written a book in his time, and he's called Ivan Vaughan. Born the same day as Paul.
Yes.
And that's why they were pals. And funnily enough, Ivan introduced Paul to John, and so on and so on. And by their understanding, I think Ivan was the maddest of them all. He was a bit of a crazy cat. Interesting. Name the place in the Calderstones Park, which is just across the road from John's house, where John and his gang hung out. He had a name, he had a little name. So a place where they used to hang out. And you may know it, I doubt if you will.
I don't think I do.
It was called The Bank.
Oh.
The Bank. I've never looked out for it, but I thought I'll never find it because it's not labelled so much. It's just like a hollow somewhere.
A dip
Somewhere. But you could be sat in a lay-by for me.
Or whatever you want to call it. Right. Well, it's my turn now for a tiny little quiz before we
mini drum roll.
We clear off home, and a sigh of relief all round I hear from around the world. This is B-sides now.
Oh, well.
What was on the B-side of these singles?
See, I'll put a caveat on this. I'm going to get embarrassed.
I think you do all right, really. Okay, this is from 1968, the B-side of Lady Madonna.
It was a double A. Ballad of John and Yoko.
No.
Lady Madonna. Old Brown Shoe.
Oh, no. It's the something.
Inner Light.
The Inner Light. Aye. Question number 2 from 1969.
What did you say? I'll do all right in this.
Yeah. I lied. The B-side of Ballad of John and Yoko.
Old Brown Shoe.
Old Brown Shoe, you said.
Old Brown Shoe, that's a pit. That's a pit.
Yeah. You're answering the questions before the one I asked, aren't you? You're doing 2 Ronnies. 1966, we're going back in time now, even further. This is quite a famous one. The B-side of Paperback Writer.
Rain.
Correct. All right. Not shout.
No, it's a weather report. It's raining outside.
Right.
So,
I'll get
the answer is I don't know.
I'll get me coat. Rain.
Rain.
1967. All right. All You Need Is Love.
Oh, Baby. Baby, you're a rich man.
Correctamundo.
Don't
Well
particularly love that song.
No.
Doesn't
It's
kind
all
of-
right.
It's not melodious as far as I can. It's got a really good tune in it, but kind of not my my kind of Beatles song per se.
Actually, this first one I mentioned, Lady Madonna,
Yeah.
is, Paul wrote it, but it's based on a bit of a Humphrey Lyttelton tune.
Who we like.
Aye.
Humph was a trumpeter.
Aye. And I've forgotten the name of the track now.
Was it the
Halfpenny
hard,
Blues?
Yeah, the
something
Bad
like that.
Penny Blues.
Bad Penny Blues.
Bad Penny
that was it.
Blues, which I can whistle.
Don't bother.
Oh.
He based it on that song
Well,
anyway.
actually, if you catch that tune, there's just a hint in there to
Yeah.
sort of go.
Same sort of rolling lower
yeah.
part of the piano.
But it's like saying blues,
Yeah.
Blues is like 3 chords, and everyone plays a blues song somewhere down the line.
Aye. So, yeah.
Oh, we done?
I think, that's it now. Empty page there now. Look at
Oh,
that.
well, you could
Empty
talk about
page.
that empty page for a bit, but I could mention my air fryer, which is a real bargain.
Well, you could do. Well, actually, I've got to get my buses coming soon, but you say you've got an air fryer.
Yeah, it can wait. Wait till.
Let me put my hand out for the bus.
Well, it's an interesting.
Tell me in a minute about this air fryer
It's
of
really,
yours.
good. I mean, it does everything. It does chips,
I mean, who cares, really? That's it, chips.
and that's all it says on the manual.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to tune in next
Chips.
time
I mean, I like chips. Nothing wrong with chips.
to another edition of
What's wrong with chips, I say?
Air Fryers. No. Beatleplaces with Mark and Col.
Oh, okay then.
Thank you very much.
We'll be back.
Eventually.
Music. Thanks for listening to the Beatleplaces podcast with Mark and Col. We hope to see you again real soon, and don't forget to visit the gift shop on the way out.